I want to, as we continue talking about failed talking points that don't even pass the sniff test, yet are repeated and amplified by the American right wing, I want to look at one that's been floating around for a while. And as we now get into the discussions about, oh, are they going to steal the election? Will Trump have to figure the normal stuff that the MAGA right wing is doing? Donald Trump Jr. unveils or repeats this totally debunked talking point that Democrats are bringing in undocumented immigrants so that they will vote for them in order for them to win. Now, you may already know why that makes no sense, but we're going to talk about it. But here's Don's idea.
Can do it. They can't legally do it, but they check a box and they say they think they're fine to vote. As long as they think they're okay, it's not really illegal. No one's going to enforce it. They want to make sure they neuter anyone who would actually check those voter rolls or confirm those citizenships. So, they're not allowed to do it, but they will. They can do it.
Okay. It is obviously untrue and would be a very stupid way to try to steal an election. And it also couldn't possibly work. So let's talk this one through because they repeat it very often. First of all, undocumented migrants are not legally allowed to vote in the United States. Don acknowledges that, but there's meaning to it. It's not just, well, lots of people do things that are against the law. That's why we have criminal law. Okay. The fact that undocumented migrants aren't allowed to vote in the United States in federal or state elections is relevant because they aren't even able to register. You can't register if you're not a citizen. Now, there are exceptions in certain municipalities where any resident can vote without, but that doesn't apply to state and federal elections. Okay. So even trying to register is already against the law, and it's very easily detected because you try to register, you're not a citizen. That's documented. It doesn't go anywhere. Citizenship is a requirement to register. Election officials regularly update and monitor voter rolls. There's really no way to add ineligible voters to the voter rolls. So when they talk about Democrats bringing in undocumented immigrants to vote, since they can't register, it's all crazy. But let's assume what they mean is the undocumented immigrants don't go and register. They just show up and go, hey, I'm Sean Smith and I'm here to vote. So the idea would be you coordinate. You have to, I guess, figure out, we have a 50 to 60% voter turnout rate in presidential elections. So you'd have to figure out who are the 40% not likely to show up and vote. And we have to go and make sure we give those names, right? If Sally Q Public plans to vote, it's even riskier to show up and go, I'm Sally, because then it might show up, Sally's already voted. Something weird is going on here. So what you would have to do is figure out who's not likely to vote, show up, say that you're them, only in places where I guess you don't need an ID. And also you're doing it one vote at a time. It's a very stupid way to try to win an election. And even if a small number of undocumented immigrants were able to pull this off, they figured out who are the citizens unlikely to vote. We're going to show up at polling places. We're going to say that we are them. We are going to vote illegally. It's not going to swing an election. The logistical challenges, never mind the risks, make it a painfully stupid way to try to steal an election. Now, when you confront them with this, they will often retreat to something else like, well, the voting machines and something. Well, if you're just going to hack the voting machines, you don't need to find Latin American undocumented migrants to go and show up and vote one by one, figuring out where it is likely that they could get away with it. So the entire thing falls apart upon any examination. But this here that you're looking at is not the face of a guy doing any critical examination. Let's leave it there. Please make sure that you have pre-ordered my forthcoming book, The Echo Machine. Very, very, very important thing. You can find it at davidpakman.com/echo or anywhere that physical books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold.